Welcome to the Apartment Investor Show, where we help you get smart and invest smarter in multifamily real estate. I am your host, JC Castillo, founder and managing principal of the Multifamily Property Group. And joining me as always is my co-host, my good buddy, the godfather of lending, Mr. Paul Peebles, national underwriter for Old Capital Lending. Paulie, how are you feeling today?
I'm doing great. I'm working on my second and third chin with all this food I've been eating. Being quarantined with my warden wife, who has me in self-isolation for 35 days, 40 days. I mean, we just keep going longer and longer. We're recording this sometime towards the end of April, and I can't wait, like a prisoner, can't wait to see the sunlight and the birds chirp in person. So,
well, Paulie, the other thing too, I got to say, your hair looks pretty good. I mean, I've been seeing some people doing mohawks and bowl cuts and stuff because they can't get to a hairdresser. So, I mean, what's the deal? How are you keeping your hair looking so good?
I got a haircut before this whole thing happened, thank God. And I shaved after my 3 or 4 week beard, I shaved a couple days ago. So, looking good.
You're looking great, Paulie. Well, today we've got a great segment for our audience and listeners out there. Paulie, I think you're going to see that a majority of our upcoming episodes are going to be focused around what people are doing in the multifamily world to really get through these tough times that are happening with coronavirus and all of the economic impacts. And we, as a multifamily investment community, Paulie, we are not immune at all to what's going on. And so today, what we figured that we would do is we would actually bring on a very successful real estate syndication company that's been doing business for several years now, that is in the middle of managing their assets through this downturn here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to talk to you listeners today about how to asset manage an apartment property through a downturn, which is exactly what we have happening right now. And so for all you listeners out there, I'm really excited. Today we have a couple of pretty dynamic guests coming to us on the show. And these folks, their story is quite incredible. These are a couple of Silicon Valley techies, technology guys who are really who have come to the U.S. To live the American dream. And not only were they very successful technology guys, but they've actually gone into the apartment investing world and really become, in a very short amount of time, very big players in the Dallas-Fort Worth metro. And so we're actually pretty excited to have these guys on the show and talk to you folks about how they're doing and what they're doing to manage during this downturn. So Boris and Albert of WGI, that's their company. Let me give you a little background on these folks. So they actually buy multifamily properties in Texas, and they've got about 180 different investors that work with them. And they have a current portfolio of just over 1,200 units. And these guys are basically buying, pretty large scale deals. We're talking 200 plus units and above. This is kind of an interesting story, but why don't you tell us about the story of one of your apartment complexes where you had an entire staff literally just walk out of the property and say, hey, this is way too stressful for me. I'm going to have to get going.
So yes, basically it's our biggest property, 384 units. And one day, when it was like a few weeks ago, they just basically quit altogether, the whole office staff.
How many people are we talking? What's the number count?
So manager, assistant, and 2 leasing agents. So
wow.
4 people. Same day, basically, they got stressed on overall situation going on, and them being kind of in the office and more or less still need to communicate to tenants and kind of be exposed. So they all quit, and in the middle of all this, we needed to hire new staff. And actually afterwards, we had some issues in other properties too. So we had another manager quit and few maintenance guys. So for some reason, that was one of the biggest challenges also those days for us, at least. We kept losing stuff, and in the middle of the crisis, we needed to kind of find and new stuff, and it's always challenging even without the crisis. And
now there's a whole lot of people out there that are looking for jobs right now that are losing jobs. And so what's interesting to me is, tell me, I know you guys use a third-party management company, but how easy was it for you guys to find new people, new talent to come in and fill the shoes for these people that left?
So that actually, you're right. It's kind of a good part of it. I won't say a good, but at least easier part, that when we publish, a job opening out there, it's usually right now they get a lot of resumes within hours, basically. So it was pretty easy kind of to find, but then, even when you find a new people, they need to get trained, they need to understand what we are doing, and kind of a lot of stuff new to them. So it's always challenging, and kind of it's never easy. Even if you find good people right away, it still takes time to get them to run and understand what they need to do, actually.
Yeah. Well, let's get right into it. We're talking about how to asset manage in a property during a downturn. So, one of the things that I'm, interested in hearing from your perspective is, we're right in the middle of this downturn, and, you probably had properties that were in the middle of being upgraded. Maybe you were turning upgrade units. Maybe you were putting in capital into the properties to reposition, make things better. What sort of adjustments have you made to your expense and capital improvements expenses during this downturn? What sort of levers are you turning to reduce your expenditures during this rough time here?
So generally, there are two parts to this question. So all the properties that kind of stable right now that we bought a few years ago, we pretty much stopped all the unnecessary, like any upgrades which are not, emergency or really need to be done. We basically not doing, and we trying to keep it down as much as we can. And only emergency work orders are being done currently. So if it's not a leak or a fire or something in that kind of something that we need to take care immediately, we just wait. And tenants good with it, pretty much. They understand also that that's the reality. But on the new acquisitions that we bought last year, we still have funds escrowed with the lender. And, unless you use them, they will sit with the lender, and you cannot use them on anything else besides unit renovations. So on those properties, we continue to renovate units. And strangely enough, we leasing a lot of units even those days. So, kind of it's mixed, but we're definitely trying to limit rehab to only what really necessary, basically.
Well, speaking of leasing units, I mean, you mentioned something earlier. So I think you said across your portfolio that your offices are closed. So how are you guys managing to, get the traffic in the door, show the units, lease the units, all that good stuff? What is your strategy now that if the offices are in fact closed?
So offices closed to public, but they still there. So manager and leasing agent, they're still in the office. So usually what they will do, they will just keep few units open throughout the day. And if somebody come to the office, and talk to them through the door, they will tell them, you can walk that unit, it's open. Application is there on the table. If you like it, you can fill it. So that's one approach. What we also doing right now, we're putting virtual tours online. Mm-hmm. So a lot of tenants not even willing to come out. They just think, just let me see it somehow, and they can basically, on the website, we just created a video tour kind of button. They can click and just view one of the units, kind of how it looks like. And actually, some online tools like apartments.com and others, they work pretty good today. A lot of leads suddenly starts to come from all those, tools out there that people just, they need a place to live, but they don't want actually to walk it, but they still want somehow to, to move or to find a good place to live. So actually March and April so far, we had pretty good months and a half in everything relates to leasing units.
Talk a little bit about that, because we're going towards the end of April right now. How were collections in March? How were collections in April? What are you projecting for May?
So March was pretty standard, nothing unusual collection-wise. And April, as of yesterday, we almost at 90% collections between all the properties.
That's great.
And it's still going, because people kind of, many of them, actually all of them, know that we're not collecting late fees, so there is no rush to pay on time. So the money is kind of coming every day. Another issue that adding to this, that our staff going to bank actually twice a week only, on Tuesday and Friday, to limit also kind of exposure. So I guess today when we're recording, it's Friday, so I guess today we will see another batch of deposits to the bank account. So it probably will go up. Regarding June, I hopefully we won't get a big hit, because so far with all the communications that our manager doing with the tenants, nobody is telling that I'm broke, I have no money to pay, and my take on it, majority of tenants that we put in, they either never had an eviction or it was long time ago, like 5 years ago. So those guys either really don't want to get there, or they've been there and don't want to repeat it, majority of them. So I think they will do whatever they can to avoid it if they can, basically. So hopefully, May and going to June, collection will go down a little bit, but we hope that not too far and won't be significant.
How's the stress in your life, Albert, these days, owning real estate?
So there's two types of stress: what's going on with the properties, and what's going on, like how investors react to the situation in
Sure.
in the world, not in the United States per se. But so, as Boris said, for the communication is a key for us. So we try to be, first of all, four of us talk on a daily basis, couple of times to discuss, bounce ideas. Also, we talk to managers and the regional manager. She's great, actually. We're really helpful, delightful to have her. And also with our investors, it's we have one-to-one communication, because some of them are our friends. Everybody is worried, and there is also we did yesterday a big webinar for our investors to explain what's going on.
Talk a little bit about that and what you guys communicated to your investors. I mean, investors have seen their stock portfolio get hit by 25 or 30%. Now it's coming back, but they've invested in deals with you. What kind of information are you sharing with your investors, and what are they asking from you?
So we try to basically update them on collections, on occupancy, on how we actually what we're discussing right now, how we manage the properties, what are the challenges, and one of the things that we did in April, we stopped distributions. So we needed to communicate to them that, although we have money in the bank to pay you guys, we will just hold to it and, won't pay until this thing will get kind of under control. So all those, and some of them, asking questions like how much reserves we have, and do we have enough money to survive, and all those questions.
Yeah, they're asking questions of as like high technology people is what's our burn rate going through all this cash?
Yeah.
How long can we survive before we're going to have to do something, whether it's a capital call or find some way? But those are valid questions.
Enough money to pay mortgage? That was the question yesterday.
Yeah.
Luckily we do.
and it's basically I think some of them actually, although they kind of see what's going on, and what you Paul said, that many of them invest in stock market, so some of them really happy. Many of them gave us their IRA accounts to invest into those businesses. So, and they see what happened to the rest of the IRA accounts during the last few months. So I think some of them actually told us that they're really happy that they invested in real estate instead of keeping it exposed to the stock market. Yeah. So it's kind of mixed for them. Yes. So they're happy, but they're worried that something worse will happen down the road.
What are you telling your banks? They're your largest partner in the deal. Are you in communication and constant conversation with the banks about letting them know how the property is performing?
Actually, yeah. So actually, our lender was yesterday on a call with our investors and kind of heard the same update, and actually updated the investors on what he sees out there right now. So, but yeah, for us it's easy because it's only one lender on all the deals. It's Fannie Mae, basically dirty mortgage. So we don't need to update a bunch of different lenders, only one. But yeah, they know exactly what's going on and where we are, and and hopefully we won't need any help from them during that cycle. But yeah, I think if we need to, they're there to help us if we get there. Hopefully not.
So, guys, I think one of the things that we want to do here, and since this is a video show for all you listeners out there that might be listening on a podcast, you can go to YouTube and check us out as well. But you guys have developed a pretty interesting tool that you guys use to help you track some things at your portfolio that you need to be aware of. So I wanted to give you guys a little time to maybe just a couple minutes here to quickly maybe do a screen share and maybe give a little background on the type of tool that you've developed and how it's useful for you guys in asset managing your portfolio. Albert, give us a quick, layman's version, like explain in plain English I'm a multifamily owner. Why is something like this valuable to me? What exactly does this software do?
Yeah, sure. So what we developed is a dashboard. Since we have many properties, it's not one. It's a many. In order to see it on each property, it will take us a lot of time and a lot of effort to log into each property and check it out. What the occupancy is, what the work orders are, what I don't know, collections and so on and so forth. So what we did, we created a dashboard which aggregates all the information for all the properties in one screen. And then if you want to see details for specific property, you can drill down into it very quickly and see where we stand in terms of occupancy and rents and the latest leases and so on and so forth.
So basically, the problem that you're solving here is you got a large portfolio of properties and you want to quickly look at a dashboard, or let's call it also a KPI or key performance indicators. You want to be able to know which properties are having problems and which properties are doing well, and you want to be able to go focus on the ones that are having problems and go solve them, right? So that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, let's go ahead. Now, how do you guys get this data? Do you have some sort of an API into the management company's property management software, or how exactly are you getting this data?
Yeah, the data is live. We pull all the information from Resman via APIs, and then we aggregate it, massage it, show it in different ways.
So Resman, for all you listeners out there, Resman is a big property management software provider, and they give hooks in their software to be able to pull this data. If you are an owner of properties, you can pull this data and develop it and massage it to give you the data that's useful for you to manage your portfolio. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at it.
Yeah, let me share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, so before we go there, this is a website that Paul was mentioning. They all look the same for us. All our properties have the same layout and ideas and screens. And this is what was Boris talking about, the video tours that we added. So you can click and see the video tour. Just a side note.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is our dashboard. As you can see, we have all our properties here, and right away you can see that green is good, red is not that great, and yellow is getting better. So we can, what we can see here, for example, let's take the good one. So we have a name, what the occupancy is, what is pre-lease occupancy is, which properties are vacant, which units are pre-leased, how many units on hold do we have? This is when people submit an application but still didn't sign. How many work orders, and how many make-ready work orders. It's a different metrics that we use. Also, we can see, and there is like a scale here which shows you the same information but on a bar.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you can see units, how like the vacant units, how long they were vacant, and obviously 23 weeks is not great. And then if we have if it's pre-leased, it will be also marked as pre-leased. For more or less same thing for yellows and for reds. We still have things to work on.
Now, what defines a green, red versus yellow? What are the metrics that you're using to turn it red?
Currently, it's occupancy. If it's 90% or less, it will be red. If it's 95% or up, it will be green, and yellow is between 90 to 94%.
Gotcha. Well, I like what you have here because you're actually showing the current occupancy, but then you're also showing pre-lease. So you're sort of giving a projected occupancy based on where the property's heading to, which is important.
Yep. Yeah, that's correct. So let's say if we will go, so now we can drill down into each property, and this we started, like all this tool started with looking how long each unit stays vacant. So it's a little bit complicated here, but here are dates every week, and here are units. So you can see that this unit become vacant on December 17, and then after 2 weeks it got pre-leased. Red means vacant, blue pre-leased, and then white is that it's leased and people
Okay.
are
Okay. So the timeline is going from
right
to left.
Mhm.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so you can see that there is like this one was pretty long vacant and still vacant.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, that's interesting. If you go, I saw one that it was vacant, and then had a short blue window of leased, and now it's
Yeah.
vacant again.
Yes, so this is basically when we see something like that, we talk to our property manager to understand what's going on because this is not normal. The property got leased and then person left after 2 weeks or 3 weeks,
Yep.
something like that, which is not what we want because it takes time to clean the unit and it costs money to us. Yeah, so those like require a call to a manager and discussion. I mean, there are legitimate reasons why it's happening, but the property managers know that we monitor this stuff as well, so it kind of keeps everybody in check.
Yeah. What other sorts of features do you guys have on this dashboard?
Let me show you. So you can go here and we display last 10 leases that were leased, and it will be if the rent that it was leased for is a market rent, it will be all good. But then we have sometimes current rent is less than a market rent, and usually it will happen when people renew the lease and we don't do any renovation to a unit, so we kind of bump it a little bit from the original rent and and leave it a little bit below the market price because it's much cheaper for us to leave a tenant in the properties and you can see when lease starts, when lease ends.
Mm-hmm.
Here it's a graph which shows us in a glance how many. So the legend here is yellow is less than 90% of a market rent. Orange red is market rent, and then 90% or above market rent is this whatever color it is.
Okay.
So basically you can see what's your potential revenue growth you can have on this property.
Gotcha. How long did it take you to? Is there any other features on this thing?
Yeah, so it's not and we sent some notification emails that I wanted to show. It's work in progress. We always add some new stuff. So this is a visual part of the tool, but there is also a notification that we send either every day or every week, depends on the email. So every day, we require our property managers to post on Craigslist ads, and every day we send them an email with did they post or not, and then if they didn't, we will have a talk with them. So basically you can see that on 15th they posted. I opened this this email is from a couple of days ago, 2 days ago.
Gotcha.
So we can see that they posted like on 14th and 15th, and basically it's good. When we see red, we will talk with the manager. So this is one types of emails that we send to push advertisement. Another one is a vacant units list, which will display how many units are vacant, how much money it lost in total, and how many work orders do we have. And work orders which are older than 7 days will be in red, which requires a property manager to. And then we get a reply from the property manager with explanations. I did this and I did that. So this is the second one, and I'm almost finishing. And then another one is the leased units as well. So it's similar to what I showed in the tracking tool, but it goes to the property manager, and they also explain. You see, like this and that is renewals.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit.
I think, Albert, what's really amazing about what you've done here is, a lot of people that have third-party management companies, a lot of owners, they struggle with the idea of getting real-time information or real-time updates in terms of how their properties are going. And what you've done here with this software program is you've basically created a real-time interface that gives you real-time updates on your portfolio without having to call and bother the property management company, bother the regional manager, who after a while they're going to get tired of your repeated requests anyways. But you just get that automatically pulled out, and you know exactly how you're doing as an asset manager. That is pretty. That's pretty incredible, actually. I can appreciate the level of data that you're able to make decisions with by doing that.
Are you selling that or marketing that, Albert?
So we currently it's working only for us, but it's not a lot of work. We plan actually what we discussed before. Once I will have more time, we will be able to extend it to other people and sell it to other people. That's actually the plan.
So you're in the beta business.
Also, JC, what I guess all the listeners need to understand that all those emails that goes out, it happens automatically. Yes, nobody need to do anything. So every Tuesday, every week, they will get that email with how many work orders and how many not leased units, and they know that they will get it automatically, doesn't matter what, and they will need to reply on it and kind of give us an update. So this is basically what keeps them alert, I guess. So and also I think Albert didn't show, but another feature in those emails that once unit is vacant, do you have that email?
You talk through it. I will try to find it.
So once units stay vacant for more than, I believe, 7 weeks, then it will automatically suggest what discount to put on that unit and get it leased. So it also
so basically
happens
you created your own version of a revenue management tool that looks at the number of days it's been on market and does an algorithm to decrease rents based on the number of days it's been out there.
Yeah, exactly. And there are a lot of property management tools out there. So it's Resman, Yardi, RealPay, like many tools. But there is literally, or I don't know, a tool that helps asset managers actually. Yes.
So I found the email. So do you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
So basically, before that, we had to call everybody and say, okay, this unit, make a discount for it, and now it just like implied that if it stays longer than it should, like, please go and do discount. It depends on its price, so we will either discount it by $50 or $30.
Yeah, it's based on square footage or unit size, so and pricing. So the tool will suggest what discount to do there, basically, for the manager.
That's great.
Yeah.
So guys, what if somebody out there wanted to get a hold of you to talk to you about your company, how can they reach out to you?
So easiest way is to kind of shoot us an email. So it's contact wealth grow investments.
Contact at wealthgrowinvestments.
Yes. It's it's contact@wealthgrowinvestment.com, right?
Yep. Connect. No, it's connect.
Connect. Sorry.
WGI. Connect WGI at wealthgrowinvestments.com.
Yeah,
okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
Connect WGI at wealthgrowinvestments.com.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Or visit our website, wealthgrowinvestments.com.
Okay.
Yes. So through website, they can also reach out to us.
Okay.
Well, we appreciate you guys coming on and sharing a little bit of your story. And I always love high technology guys. They always have a different way of using their technology skills into the multifamily. And you guys have done a wonderful job trying to help your situation and then probably offer at some period of time, these key principle, key indicators, key indicators of what's going on. So you guys have done a wonderful job of that. So I definitely appreciate that. So Boris, thank you. Albert, thank you. You have two other partners that we wish we could get them on there too. That's Leo and Oshi. Tell them we said hello, please. And you guys have done a great job with your assets, and I'm very happy for you guys. JC, tell me a little bit about what you guys do.
Oh, well, Paulie, we started this show because we like to help people, help them on how to make smart multifamily investments. Multifamily Property Group, our company, we've been around, and we've been buying, selling, repositioning, operating properties, apartment properties since before the Great Recession. So if anybody out there has any questions on how to get started in this business, feel free to reach out to us. You can go to our website at multifamilypropertygroup.com. Again, that's multifamilypropertygroup.com, and go to the contact us section of the website and just click on a free 15-minute consultation. And I would be happy to sit down over a virtual meeting and see how we might be able to help you out. Paulie?
That's great. Well, JC, I appreciate you putting all this together. Another great interview. Guys from the WGI, we appreciate you guys spending some time with us. I learned a lot, so I do appreciate that. Again, Boris, Albert, thanks for joining us. I'm Paul Peebles. That's JC Castillo. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you.